Good. So now we're continuing. We're returning, and God willing, we'll finish today the Mimor, the Hasidic discourse that the Lubavitcher Rebbe said in Tafshin Lamed Hey, which means 1975, and was reprinted, redistributed, and it's talking about the going out of Egypt and the future redemption, and also both of them, both the future redemption and going out of Egypt. And it's trying to explain to us how amazingly powerful and how to say and positive that we are, that we can actually, me and you, we can actually change the world for the better, that the world can be a good world. It can be a, how do you say, a proper world. Like, when a farmer plants wheat in his field, so he wants everything to grow up. He wants it to grow, nice, healthy wheat without weeds, without rodents coming and eating everything. That's a good product. And then he's happy. The same thing with God. God created the world, and God's product is human beings. He wants the human beings to grow up well and to be happy and to be healthy, to be productive. And there shouldn't be all these weeds and rodents growing up, the bad thoughts, bad emotions, bad ideas, destructive philosophies and leaders, incompetent teachers and things like that. He wants there to be a good, proper world. That's why he gave the Torah. The Torah is the blueprint for the world. The problem is in order to do the Torah, a lot of times you have to abandon your own ideas. Understand? I mean, Karl Marx and Sigmund Freud and Adolf Hitler and these Mao Zedong, they would have to abandon their ideas, which swept across the world. All this says that even more, all the religions in the world are all lies. There's a sentence over there in Jeremiah. All the religions in the world, all these 2.5 billion Christians and Muslims and Hindus and these people. I mean, there are good things that came out of the religions, but in the end, they're not. If they're not adhering to exactly what it says in the Torah, so it's how do you say? It's not a healthy crop that's growing up. It's not a healthy crop. A farmer plants wheat, and all of a sudden there grows up a couple of apples and pears and a few carrots and things like that. That's not what he wants. So this is what God wants. Okay. And how is going to happen? The whole thing depends on the Jews. So of course, and it doesn't depend on the Jews, it depends on each and every individual Jew. And when it comes down to it, depends on me. Everybody has to say that themselves. And the non-Jews can also inspire the Jews, right? They can say, Jew, why don't you do what you're supposed to do? Why don't you act in the way that you're supposed to act? Why don't you be good, like going to the doctor, and the doctor says, who am I to heal you? Go to a teacher, who am I to teach you? You go to a concert, the pianist says, who am I to have so much attention from you to play this piano? That's ridiculous. You have a job, do your job, and everybody will get benefit from it. So that's the idea. Okay, how can it possibly be? So this is the Rebbe. That's the whole idea of the world. The world was created by God, and it's being created by God. When did God start creating the world? He started creating the world in the month of Tishrei. In the month of Tishrei, really, he started creating the world 5 days before the month of Tishrei. He started creating the world. When man was created, the sixth day of creation, that's the first day of Tishrei. That's the Jewish Rosh Hashanah. So he started creating that Tishrei. So Tishrei is the month of creation month. Creation month. And 6 days later is the month when, what is it, 2,448 years after God created the world. So he took the Jews out of Egypt in the month of Nisan. So the month of Nisan, that's, so to speak, that's God's month. Month of Nisan, God did all these miracles. He took the Jews out of Egypt. He gave them, he split the sea for them. right? 7 days afterwards. Split the sea for the Jews. The Jews left amazing miracles. So the month of Nisan is the month of miracles. The word Nisan means miracle. Nisan means miracles. Also means miracle. So God creates the world in the month of Nisan. That's God's month. God took the Jews out of Egypt in the month of Nisan. That's God's month. Nisan, miracles. God does it all. But he created the world in Tishrei. Tishrei, that's, so to speak, the world's month. Nature month. Creation month, want to call it. Right? So Nisan is the creator's month, and God does everything. And Tishrei is the creation month, when God wants us to do everything. But there's one opinion that says, that's Rabbi Eliezer, that the world was, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Yeshua says that the world was created in Nisan also. The world was also created in Nisan. And everyone agrees that that's not the fact. We don't count according to Nisan. We count according to Tishrei. Tishrei was Rosh Hashanah. No one says Rosh Hashanah is in Nisan, the month of Nisan. Even Rabbi Yeshua doesn't say. So why does he say the world was created in the month of Nisan? So the Rebbe explains the reason why is because in thought, the world was created in Nisan. What does it mean? That God imbued in the creation itself the power to change the creation and reveal the creator in the creation. God imbued in each and every creation, me and you, humans especially, the ability to, through our natural actions, to make miracles in the world. So we already did this yesterday, but let's just do this end part again. That's what it means, shamachshava. That's what it means, that the intention. That's what it means, that the intention. The intention, Livarot Olam, the intention to create the world was in the month of Nisan. Even though the world was really created, and it was miracles, even though the world was really created in Tishrei, creation month, Shemachshava, that God's thought, this is the kavanah, the intention, betachlit, and the goal of the creation. Shelachre amachshava, which comes after it, right? First of all, a person has a thought, and then afterwards he does the thing, right? You have a thought of what type of a house you want to make, and then you make the house, right? He has a thought of how to make a car, and then he makes a car. God has a thought about making the world, and he wants to make the world. What's the thought? The thought is the reason and the goal. Because the whole intention and the purpose of the creation of the world, which was created in the month of Tishrei, that was when the completion was created, when man was created. Medida v'hagbala, namely a limited, defined, natural world according to natural laws. Why did God create this world that's so, so ungodly? Who is Sheyebo Gili de Nisan? He created this world. God purposely created the world that is so seemingly natural in order with a thought. What's the thought? That the month of revelation of miracles which are above nature. So everything you see that's in the world that seems so natural, even these things which so vehemently oppose Judaism and conceal any Jewish feeling, everything there is being created constantly in order to reveal godliness and to reveal this Jewish feeling. Everything, even the things that are opposing Judaism. What's the problem? So why don't they do it? Ella, but in order that this intention of revealing the creator and the creation, making the world a healthy place, that even the limitation of the world should be the revelation of Bali Gavul. Right? In the limited world should be a revelation of unlimited. Let's take an example, right? A person, God forbid, he has a child and the child is born in a coma, right? So the doctors could say, that's it. Just some kids come out with comas and some kids don't. They just say, no, come on, doctor. I mean, we want the child to be healed. No, that's just the way it is. This comes out, accept him, take him to home. Maybe you can, do something with him, change him, talk to him, do something. That's it. That's the child. So that's ridiculous. That's just insane. That's crazy. I'm going to get another doctor, right? Another doctor. Another doctor comes and says, oh, it's no problem. Here, you just press this point over here, do this little massage over there, say a couple of these words. All of a sudden, child comes alive. What happened? What's wrong with the child that's in a coma? What's wrong? A child is a big miracle. You can't kill him. I mean, some people say you can kill anybody, but right, a child has potential that all of a sudden he comes alive. What happens? It's a miracle. We don't appreciate the miracle of life. It's just the same thing as the world. The world as it is dead. It's in a coma. We don't feel godliness. So what do all these philosophers and say? That's it. That's what it is. You want the world to come alive. It's not going to happen. In the world to come. Oh, that's it. After you die, that's it. But when you hear that, well, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's not so. The world is like the child in a coma. Anyone who comes and says that's what the world is, you can't reveal God in the world. It's like you say you can't reveal this child life. It's not so. So the idea is that we're supposed to reveal Nisan, the big miracles in Tishrei. How can we do it? Because that was God's intention when he created the world. It's imbued in every fiber of the creation, that the creation is screaming that it's just a vessel. It wants to reveal the true life inside of it. Like the child, like the parents of the child are saying, hey, we want our child to come. The Gilui Beligavul, this is the revelation of unlimitedness, of life, if you want to call it. Hayata was, I'm sorry. Shagam B'Hagavul, that even in the limitation of the world as it is, so to speak, dead or unconscious, yet Gilui Beligavul will be revealed the true life of the Creator. Now, just as this child, we're looking at from the point of view of the parents. Let's look at it from the child's point of view. He's in a coma. That's it. You're in a coma. You're in a coma. He doesn't know there's anything else. Here, the Rebbe is telling us that we are in a coma and we can get out of it. And that's what the Rebbe is. He's like the doctor waking us up. But here it says that we have to do something. It's not just the doctor can massage us. We have to do it. We have to do it. How can we come back to life if we're in a coma? It says because the whole essence of who we are is this miracle. God wants this miracle to happen. The whole idea of limitation of the world is in order that there should be the revelation of unlimitedness in the creation. Actually, often in a way, Gilui lo hayan nirgash bo b'kavana. But when God created the world in the beginning, he created it in such a way that it's a world. And the world is in such a way that the unlimitedness is not revealed. He created it purposely this way. That's where my whole metaphor breaks down. Right? That a child is born with a coma, that's unnormal. That's not normal. That's not, that God created the world in a coma, that's exactly the point. That's what's called normal. That's nature. That's nature. Because of this, because God wanted it. He wanted his godliness to be concealed. He wanted man to reveal it. They say by means of this, therefore the world was created limited. God created the world purposely limited. Right? So our metaphor now is not applicable. Or some people say applicable. The child is born, that's a sickness. It's too bad. The child is born. It's an unfortunate thing. Here, God created the world purposely concealed. He put man in it in order to reveal, to wake the world up, to make more godliness in the world. How can he do it? Every single deed that he does, every single word that he says, every single thought that he has, if it's according to the Creator and it's against nature, then that reveals the whole healthiness in the whole entire nature, in the whole entire world. But man wasn't able to do it. The challenge was too great. Therefore, he ate from the tree, etc. Okay, so he made the world into this sort of a permanent comatose state. By means of our deeds. Okay, but anyway, God created the world in a coma. Man was supposed to wake it up, and by means of whatever he did, he just put it into a deeper coma. By means of by means of our deed and our work, especially now in the time of exile, when things are so, the world is screaming out that this is all there is. There is no more. And things get deeper and deeper and deeper in darkness. I mean, I'm sure you're aware now in America, maybe it's in the whole world, I don't know what's going on, but it's just shocking that they want to say, we're the creator, we're God. We're God. Right? We're the creator. A man can decide he wants to be a woman can be decided. It all depends on your thought. Today you're a man, tomorrow you're a woman. Who knows where it's going to go to? But what exactly go? I mean, if there's really no rules at all, then, there's no rule. We just could do it with them. Tomorrow I want to be a dog. Tomorrow I want to be a cat. If I kill somebody, it's okay because that day I happen to believe that I was a lion, and the lions can kill, but that's their nature. Who knows? And eventually it will be revealed that the world will come back to life, and we'll see that the real intention, why God created the world, and what was imbued in every atom of the creation is just screaming out that we want to reveal miracles. That's the whole, what do you want to call it? The tendency, the DNA of the world. The Hagavul, that the limitation, Nivra, Batishrei, that the limitation which is created in the month of creation, right? The Rosh Hashanah Tishrei, who is Sheyeh Gilui B'li. God created limitation so there will be unlimited. That's why it says the tshuva in the end of the exile, asiyat b'polat adam shenibra b'tishrei, namely doing tshuva. Tshuva is from us. That's the month of Tishrei. That when we do tshuva, when we return to God, a natural thing that we do, it will be in a way that's unlimited, miraculous. Changes that we never believed could happen. It's like, let's take the example, I mean, it's a ridiculous end. The child is in a coma, and he's been in a coma for 5,782 years already. He's been in a coma, and suddenly they do something, comes along Moshiach, and he just massages his toe or something. The child wakes up, and suddenly he reveals in just 1 hour that he's a master concert pianist, and is a genius, right? A genius physicist, has ideas that he can play piano better than who knows Horowitz, and ideas, genius ideas more than Newton and Einstein. All of a sudden, unlimited new ideas, new music, new things nobody ever dreamed it could be, and everybody's going to be like that. By means of our deeds and our work serving God, Mitkale will be revealed in Yanua Panimi, the real inner intention, the real inner life, the real inner, I want to call it the point of existence of everything in the world that's limited. You should understand something like this. I mean, there's great pianists, and there's great violinists, and there's great, physicists and mathematicians, people that are just, amazing. People that are amazing. That's all these people deal with the world. All these people, these musicians, and they deal with the beauty and the harmony and the wisdom, of the world. It says in the future that everyone is going to be concerned. It's a Rambam, right? It's Maimonides. Everyone is going to be concerned with the creator of the world. We don't even have any idea what the creator is. Just like, let's say, I don't know, 1,000 years ago, no one had any idea there was such a thing like, physics, controlling things in the world. I'm not a historian, so maybe 1,000, 1,500. But there was no such thing, right? People didn't know there was such a thing. All of a sudden, there's a new science, physics that opens up all the. Well, people now, they don't know that there's such a thing as God. It's not a reality to them. In the future, it will be a reality. Here the Rebbe is saying that, and this is how God set up the world. By means of our actions and our deeds, we actually, so to speak, don't take this wrong, we actually manipulate the will of the Creator. We reveal the goodness in the world. It's like if you say that this doctor who brought the child back from a coma, you say that doctor, he creates life. Of course he doesn't create life, but he's able to, so to speak, manipulate it, to reveal it. The same thing is with God. Why? Not because we really exist, because that's the way God set up the world. God set up the world that in every detail of the creation is miracles, and especially in human beings, and especially in the Jews. Because that's what we're chosen for. We're chosen to tell the whole world what the Rebbe is telling us. Here, the Rebbe, what we're learning now is the wisdom of the Moshiach. The Rebbe is the Moshiach, and the Rebbe is giving us this wisdom. He's waking us up. Namely, that he's telling us what our true potential are, what we really are. That the limitation of the world, which was created in the month of Tishrei, will reveal the unlimitedness of Nisan. That's what it means that in Nisan, the world was created, because it wasn't created in Nisan, but in thought it was. The potential was imbued in the world of everything being able to reveal miracles. Everything. And everything we do. Like I said before, what does it mean, miracles in everything? Does that make any sense? Miracles in everything. What does it mean? That there's going to be like sparks coming out of our fingers and our eyeballs will shine out and whatever it is. So I think maybe we could take a simple example. I gave 2 examples yesterday. I don't remember who I gave it to, but it says that every human being is created in the image of God. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world, right? Wherever you live, there's a lot of people. You meet people. You see the image of God in people's faces. You see. I mean, there's people you see the image of God. What does it mean? But it's there. There it is, and it must be that we're seeing it. Must be. So we have no idea what this means. And there's even a greater, I think. It says that everything that happens in the world reveals the intention of God. It's called hashgacha pratit. Everything in the world, every action, every interaction, it's all revealing miracles. Everything is a miracle. Every step you take, every step you take, every word you make, or something like that. Everything really, every breath is just an incredible miracle. And there's all these people breathing and animals are breathing. Everything should contain a message, a clear message to us about God and the miracle. Do we see this? We feel it? Not. We don't know. Right? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely. So it shows how blind we are, how stupid we are. We just don't see the godliness that's around. We don't even know what it means. We don't know what to look for. Right? We think godliness must be some sort of a, if somebody flies up in the air or goes up into heaven or something. But it's not. It's right there, and we don't see it at all. It says in the future we will. In the future we'll see miracles in everything. Everything there is. Legal, and that's one of the reasons why the Rebbe was so adamant that science is a good thing. Because the more we know about nature, the more we know that we don't understand anything. And the more we know about the more nature we know about. So the more miracles we can reveal. The more nature there is, the more miraculous the world is. The Rebbe, I think I told you this, the Rebbe told someone that was working in NASA. They were working to see if there was a Professor Green, passed away about 7 or 8 years ago. A wonderful person. He started becoming religious, and he asked the Rebbe that in NASA he was working was a professor in biology, that they're working on seeing if there was life on Mars, if there was permissible according to the Torah. And the Rebbe says it's a very good thing. If they find that there's life on Mars, it means that the greatness of God is even more. He created things that we didn't even know about. Right? The more the more creation we know about, the more we can see the greatness of the Creator. So the creation, that's the month of Tishrei. And the Creator, that's the month of Nisan. And God wants us to instill this Creator and reveal the Creator, reveal the miracle and the mystery in every single aspect of the Creator. As then, Yidgala in the future by means of Moshiach will be revealed that also revelation, that the limitations, that the physicality of the world of Tishrei that its real internal inside meaning is beligavul of Nisan, is the unlimitedness of Nisan. Now it's a very popular thing out there, and somebody told me to watch it, and it's pretty interesting. There's this thing about pawn shops, right? There's pawn shops, and people buy, the owner of the pawn shop, he buys all these things, and it's real life stuff. So somebody comes in with an old, battered up shoe or something like that, and he says, "What is this?" He says, "This shoe was actually owned by Genghis Khan." See, it's inside of it's written, Genghis. Here it is, the left shoe of Genghis Khan. Man, Genghis Khan, man, that guy lived like 1,000 whatever years ago. This is his shoe, and they call it an expert, and they say, yes, this shoe is worth $1 million. We have the left shoe, we don't know where the right shoe is, right? This is $1 million shoe that the guy wanted to take the shoe and throw it in the garbage. It was worth nothing. All of a sudden, it's worth a fortune. The left shoe or whatever is a Genghis Khan. Well, the whole world is the world of God. The world is infinitely, infinitely precious. But to us, we can throw it away. We have to bring in an expert. That's the Rebbe. And the Rebbe tells us, hey, this world, you know what this world is? This world belongs to the creator of the universe. It's beyond any value. Can't appraise it. Everything is that. You say, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means everything, one second, but I'm also made by the creator of the universe. That's right. You also cannot be appraised. Your value is in it. You have no idea what it means, but we don't know what it means. And that's the idea of revealing Nisan, the miracles, the godliness, the creator in the creation. This creation is not just an old shoe. This is the shoe of Genghis Khan. It's not this is not an ordinary, this is the creation of God himself. He's creating this world. Okay. Let's now go. I have to go back 1 second. I've got to go back to, I can't create this. I have to go back to this, to 1 second, this, to this. There we go. Next page. Oh, 1 second here. No, I didn't want to do that. Oh, yeah. Okay, 1 minute. Oh, that's what it means. I don't know if we'll finish today, but okay. That's what it means. Rabbi Yitzchak said, Lo yatzorech latchil Torah. The Torah did not have to begin. Elam HaChodesh. This, if you look in the Torah, the commentary of Rashi, this is the first Rashi on the word Bereshit. But the first word in the Torah is Bereshit. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So the first, the Rashi he's the main commentator of the Torah. And the genius, holy comment, the Rebbe spent years and years and years. Every Shabbat he would explain the genius and the depth, the holiness of Rashi, what Rashi is trying to get. Rashi, by the way, is Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki. That's Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki. Okay, so what does he bring? He brings down from the Midrash, and it says, Omer Rabbi Yitzchak says, Lo yitzorech latchil the Torah. The Torah did not have to begin except from HaChodesh hazeh. From this sentence, HaChodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodeshim, which is, into the book of Exodus. So the whole book of Genesis is really sort of extra, says Rabbi Yitzchak, because the main thing of the Torah is commandments, and the first commandment given to the Jewish people is counting the months, declaring the new month, and that's what it means. HaChodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodeshim. God spoke to Moses in Egypt just before they got out, and he said, this month, the month of Nisan, is going to be for you. So the Torah could have started over here, but the Torah did not start there. The Torah did not start with this Chodesh Elechem. It started, with the whole book of Bereshis, which is like 10 chapters, 15 chapters before. The Inyan said that this is a liba de emes. This means according to the truth, like we said before. That the Torah actually begins with Bereshit Bora, that God created. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Torah, even the whole idea of the Torah is, what's the Torah? What is the Torah? The Torah is God's will, God's wisdom, God's self, drawing down the revelation of Or Ein Sof, the unlimited God, which is above any connection to the world. The Torah is not just a book. The Torah is alive. The letters of the Torah are alive. From the letters of the Torah, the world is created. The Torah is part of the creation, true, but the fact of the matter is that when a Jew learns the Torah, it activates something far, far above any aspect of the creation. The Creator himself. The Torah is, who would ever dream such a thing, but that's the fact. And therefore, Yesh B'Torah, there is in the Torah, Gam Haggadah, the whole story about my Bereshis, about the creation of the world. In order, in order to draw, to bring, to inject the unlimited infiniteness, godliness of the Torah also in the world. That's what God wants. And to make from the world, dira lo, a vessel for godliness. Not just a vessel, but to unite God with the world, to show miracles in every aspect of the world. That's what God wants. So when you learn the Torah, read the Torah, it's just like reading, a novel or anything else. You're just ideas in your mind. Who would dream that these ideas are God's ideas? They're not the ideas of, some professor or some genius. Or these are the creators of the creator of the professors, and this God Himself is saying these words right now, and you are saying them. You're saying what God is saying right now. When a Jew speaks the words of Torah, that's God speaking. When a Jew understands the words of God, he's understanding God's ideas. That reveals godliness in the world. That in order that this unlimitedness of the Torah, will be Gamba Olam, also in the world, as the world is in its existence, Michutz Torah, outside of the Torah, so to speak. In other words, is the Torah just a book in the library, or is the library just a part of the Torah? Is the Torah just another creation in the world, or is the world a creation inside of the Torah? Well, and the fact is that the world is created by the Torah, but in order to reveal the Torah in the world, which seems to be just, the world is dominant. The Torah is just a little detail of the world. It's a thing. The Torah is a thing. In order to reveal the Torah, the godliness of the Torah in all of the things of the world, there has to be a special power in the Torah to do this. Therefore, the Torah begins with Bereshis. What's the Bereshis? Bereshis means that God wants there to be a world. Shahagada, the Maisa Bereshis, this whole story of the creation of the world, and similarly all the stories afterwards, right, with the flood and with Abraham, etc. This is because that this Torah portion of HaChodesh, which is well into the book of Exodus, this is the first commandment which was given to the Jewish people. They had ordered that by means of learning the Torah and doing the commandments in the world, there will be the revelation of the unlimitedness of the Torah also in the world. Remember, this idea of the creation of the world is written in the Torah. The idea of the creation of the world is part of the Torah. So if so, already in the world is just an aspect of the Torah, not just when a Jew puts on tefillin and all the commandments and the holy things, that's part of the Torah. Also the world, the animals, the birds is part of the Torah. Therefore, God wanted there to be a natural world that would conceal Him, as it was before Torah mitzvahs, a natural world. God wants there to be a natural, real world. The world is very precious to God as it is. It's just missing life. It's missing a little bit of meaning. It's like the child when he's in a coma. You put life into him, he doesn't like evaporate all of a sudden. He just goes, oh, we're so happy our son went up to God, to the Lord. That's not what God wants. That's called death. God doesn't want that. God wants the world should feel godliness. So therefore, he made a world, and the world is part of the Torah. The world covers up God, and the world is there way before this commandment that God gives about sanctifying the months. Miracles. Even since that the Torah opens up in the creation of the world is in order that the unlimitedness of the Torah and the commandments, namely the HaChodesh Hazelachem, should be in the world in Bereshit as it is before Parshat HaChodesh. In other words, when God is revealed in the world, everybody's going to remain the same. Even more, in the raising of the dead, everybody's going to be the same. You'll be able to recognize Uncle Joe, Uncle Sam. How it's going to work out with reincarnations, it's a different story. But let's just talk about what God wants. God wants there to be revealed in the world as many people as possible. The more people, the better, right? Now there's 8 billion people in the world. If there was 800 billion people in the world, there would be enough room for everybody because infinite would be, and everybody's personality would be different. Wonderful, wonderful world. Couldn't be anything greater. Everyone will be who they are, but everybody will be alive. They'll be revealed HaChodesh Hazelachem in the Bereshis. Nimsot. So comes such a panemius in Yanim that the whole inside reason, the whole soul, Hatchala of the creation of the world is really HaChodesh Hazelachem, the miracles that are done afterwards. That these miracles should be revealed in every detail. Ki panemius the Bereshis, because the inside, like I say, the soul of Bereshis, of the creation, which is way before this first commandment of sanctifying the month. The inside of this is HaChodesh Hazelachem, the miracles of sanctifying the month. So the whole reason the world is here is in order to reveal miracles, the Creator, the commandments. HaChodesh Hazelachem, the first commandment given to the Jews. That's what the physical world was created for. It's known that the creation of the world, maybe we're going to have to do this tomorrow. Okay, we'll start a little bit. It's known that the creation of the world was on, when the Jewish people, we celebrate the new year on the first day of this month of Tishrei. Tishrei, we said that's creation month, right? That's how we started this class. Well, really, that was the day when man was created, and man was created on the sixth day of creation. So the creation, God really began the creation, right, 5 days earlier, 6 days earlier, if you want to say, on the 25th day of Elul. That's the month before Tishrei. And that the Kaf Hey is 25, but the word Kaf Hey also means something like this, ko, like this. Well, beyond Bara Adam, when God created the first man, that's the first day of Tishrei. Good morning, W. Was made Gilui Elokus B'olam. Then there was revealed godliness in the world. B'chinas Zeh. Okay, what's the Rebbe want to do? If the Rebbe is going to try to point out that there's different levels of revelation of God in the world. When God created the world was created. Created a world. There was no one to appreciate the world. No one to reveal godliness in the world. The world was just the creation of God. Right? Like, let's say a great painter or whatever, somebody makes a piano. Makes a piano, and there's a piano. There it is. That's like the world is. When man was created, then there was someone to play this amazing instrument called the world. And he revealed in the world Zeh, godliness. So the world was created in the way of ko, like this, something like God. The world was like, ko means something like, ko amar Hashem, something like this. The world was something like God. When man was created, then he revealed Zeh. This is relevant to HaChodesh Hazeh. Then man was put to reveal really godliness, not something like godliness. Ela, but that the revelation that was by means of Adam, who be'ein aroch was much, much less than the revelation that happened at the giving of the Torah. Oh, when God gave the Torah, the revelation was even greater, even more zeh. According to this, we can say that which the first commandment given to the Jews, HaChodesh hazeh, that's like the Torah, is the inside, and we said that HaChodesh hazeh, the miracles of the Torah, is really the soul of Bereshis Bara, of the creation of the world. This is even higher than tshuva of the first man, the Adam. He evolved into believable, which is unlimited. And we're talking about this tomorrow. Let's talk about this tomorrow. The Rebbe wants to get around to me and you. The me and you. If we just change our direction in life and focus more on trying to reveal the Creator and the creation, on one hand being devoted and aware of the Creator, having love of the Creator, awe of the Creator, everything we do connected to the Creator, but at the same time to be involved in the world with this revelation in our mind, right? That's called doing tshuva. And this is the highest of all, especially now in the time of exile. But we'll talk about this more, God willing, tomorrow. We'll finish the Mimor, and then we'll continue on in the Likkutei Torah. Likkutei Torah, learning, because the Rebbe said that learning Likkutei Torah was one of the sure ways of hurrying up the arrival of the Moshiach. So we'll do both. This is tomorrow, God willing, tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to learn the Dvar Malchut of the Rebbe, talking about this week's Torah portion of Metzora and why Moshiach is called Metzora, why Moshiach is called a leper. Ready?